This is the BearDown Corner with your host, Sergeant Cornholio. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the BearDown Podcast. I am your host, Sergeant Cornholio from Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and every other platform we are trying to get out there and onto. So welcome to us here on Spotify today for episode 3 of the BearDown Corner. We are here to discuss fantasy football, fantasy news, league news, a little bit of everything, and just general football talk. We love that around here. So grab your popcorn, sit down, and let's have a chat. So, jumping right into it, we got the fantasy side of things. I've been debating on how I want to go about this, and I think I have a system. So, excuse the little notebook, but I'm old school in my notes. So, as we start out, though, let's just jump right into it. I think what I'll do is we'll start with anyone who has the same guys as myself. You can get the breakdown of them. And then we'll add in some others from other teams that I have that I figure, probably newsworthy, right? So let's jump right into it. Josh Allen on the weekend. He went in week 10 for 22 of 37 for 280 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and, a couple interceptions. But regardless, the guy's still a 20-point player. If you got him, you're playing him. He's top 5 in the league. No doubt about it. Josh Allen is a top quarterback in the NFL, and he has what it takes to beat Patrick Mahomes. He does. I feel that this weekend's matchup is not necessarily a benchmark, a marking stick, but definitely they're mid-season. They get to kind of see where each other's at. Things can definitely change between now and playoffs, so not going to put too much money on it, but, it could be interesting. Could be a telltale for what's to come, right? It's going to be a break them down, shoot it out, scenario type game. You're not going to get a smash out of 50 points from 8 pass touchdowns, right? Like, you just ain't. Unless it's a back and forth from each quarterback. Then that just tells you both defenses said, fuck it today, let the boys have it out. So, yeah, Josh Allen, start that man, along with, Lamar Jackson and other top quality single callers. I guess my quarterback to kind of keep an eye on if he's available. I know I was able to pick him up in some of my leagues, but Russell Wilson. I like Russell Wilson only in the aspect, and you'll only ever hear me say this in this season context, okay? He went from being a starting quarterback, superstar, blah, blah, blah. I'm better than everyone. That's who won the Super Bowl. I don't like him for that bullshit. He should have never thrown it on 4th and 3 with goddamn Marshawn Lynch, the best running back that league, in the year that league, in the league that year. Got myself to lead the NFL. Rushing yards, I think he had like friggin' 18 touchdowns or something like that. The man was ridiculous that year. You go for a pass, get intercepted in the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? You're some superstar. The year you won the Super Bowl, dude, your defense was tearing Peyton Manning apart. The rushing game was full on in 2012. Like, it wasn't a walk in the park in the sense of you had to fight and struggle. Dude, your team carried you. You didn't go and, do absolutely everything within what you had to do. Your guys carried you, for sure, as you should. You were a rookie quarterback back then, 3rd round draft pick, right? Good on you. You won a Super Bowl. But I will say, I'm impressed with how he's matured. His ability hasn't distinguished on, and I said it in a stream a while ago, but the man drops dimes for his speedsters. He can throw it to the exact point that is required by an NFL quarterback in order to make the ball passed, right? It's not just your short yardage passes or anything like that. Like, when I watched the games I did at Pittsburgh, because I got their defense and some other players, right? George Pickens included. So there's my wide receiver. If you got him or can get him, get the man. He's going to have some good numbers coming up. I don't see Russell Wilson distinguishing. He already sat out the first 6 games. He's ready to rock. Fields is ready to back him up. The Steelers are going to be fine. I think this weekend's matchup against Baltimore, it's going to be a hard-nosed, beat the crap out of each other divisional matchup. This ain't a fucking rock'em sock'em robot, Madden-style bullshit. No, they're coming to beat the crap out of each other. Now, Ravens defense, a little bit more susceptible to the pass, but you know what? Even against Pittsburgh's stingy-ass defense, I still see Baltimore putting up points as needed. Not to blow out, but as needed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Moving along, you got Christian McCaffrey, running back, right? San Francisco 49ers, out beginning of the year in ankle tendonitis, went to Germany, blah, blah, blah. So he's back week 10, had his bye week 9, played, did good, 16 points. He was used a lot, 83% of his snaps. The man catches the ball like no one else. I think he had like 6 catches or something like that. He put up fair numbers. They won the game. I see it going to continue like that. I don't see, like Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerrero or whatever the hell his name is, they each only had 1 rush. There is not, look, it is crystal clear. When McCaffrey is healthy, there's no one else playing. The ball is his. It's just as simple as that. They have lots of other weapons, but at running back, it's him or not. That's pretty much what that is. So, and you know what? He's earned it. He's earned it. But this year, yeah, he's going to get into it. But I don't know what to predict for the future. But I do know that if you've been holding on to the son of a bitch, just as everyone should, you start the man. You start the man. He is ready to, he's probably juiced up on whatever the hell he needs to be right now that is within the NFL limits for whatever pain tolerance, I'm guessing. Because, I'm sorry, ankle tendonitis, dude. Like, you one tough fucking cookie. All right? You one tough cookie. So, go put the cookie down on the Seattle Seahawks this weekend and have yourself a welcome back game and get like 2 touchdowns. Just saying. Questionable this week. He was Wednesday, Thursday, practice at Friday. No question mark detail on him for the injury designation for Sunday. So yeah, he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Kyren Williams. Man has had some subpar performances lately, but it's not without it being game scripted and tough, fought-out battles. So I wouldn't worry about him. Nice matchup in New England this weekend. Not much really else to say. New England played really good against the Bears. That made me all, sad inside, like a little child in a fetal position, just sucking his thumb because, the Bears coming to bite down, right? No. Instead, that Patriot decided to bite down on the Bears' tail and make him go crying. So we're going to see what we can do this week in Green Bay. See if we can take a bite out of the cheeseheads. Yeah, some hard fought battles to come. That's all I'll say on that. But enough about that. I still think New England's susceptible. They got the shit beat on them by friggin' Jacksonville and not London. I know that was a few weeks ago, but they're still... I think Kyren Williams is going to make his jump back game this week. Defense should do well as well. I see Stafford throwing out some passes. Cooper Kupp, Nakua, everyone's back, right? Once they get Higbee back, they're ready to make a run. If they don't, then whatever. But they have the team to do it. They are one of the youngest defenses out there. They're gelling together at the right time, mid-season. What more could you ask for? Your quarterback's playing good when he needs to. Running back has been great all year. Like Los Angeles Rams, good luck to you. Moving along, Nico Collins, my man. Yeah, you know what? We'll just give the great news right off the bat. He's ready to go. He says he's 100% in his last interview from today. He was full practice today, this Friday. So, yeah, expect him to slot in as your wideout one for the rest of the season into playoffs. So, go Nico Collins. Yeah. Detroit Lions, I believe. No, they played Detroit last week. Who does Nico Collins play this week? Who does Houston Texans play this week? Son of a gun. You know what? I don't care. We're going to take a quick little gander over at the Score app, because I like it and use it quite often. So you have Dallas. It's the damn state game this weekend. Okay. Yeah. Your Monday nighter of all things. 6:15. General Mountain Time, probably 8 o'clock, 8:15 Eastern. Yeah, that should be right. Nico Collins going into Dallas. He's going to slot right back into number one and move on from there. There's not really much to say other than that. The man can ball out. So, Nico, ball out and do your thing. To move on to wide receiver 2 this weekend for me, well, I have a toss-up. I have either Zay Flowers, who is going against Pittsburgh, as we talked about earlier, which divisional games, well, he put some numbers on Cincy, quite a few weeks back. Got held this week, but doesn't say the rest of his wide receivers didn't have some fun, right? Derrick Henry was held in that game too. You have Rashad Bateman. Frick, who knows what's going to happen with Deontay Johnson. I don't know how well he's going to get acclimated at this point. The man he looked lost. He looked lost a bit. But I guess they also didn't get him that many chances too. So we'll see. But Zay Flowers is projected for about 13.5, something like that. I find him at this point, he is boom or bust. He has more booms than busts, but his numbers and projection, his targets, they're all in line. But I don't know. First off, I like Ladd McConkey this week going against Cincy. And I also like Courtland Sutton going against Atlanta. So when it comes to wide receiver 2, I'm not really confused on, I'll just probably put McConkey there because I have him slotted regardless as a playable this week. But I'm on the edge with Zay Flowers. The man just, I don't know. I would rather maybe take the risk of Courtland Sutton going into Atlanta, quarterback getting hot. They're not the greatest against the pass either. Like, it could be an interesting game. And honestly, I might still make that trade, that swap out, just because. So look ahead at McConkey in Cincy. Well, you've seen what the rest of those boys can do on them, so I don't see why the LA Chargers, who have been picking up hot lately, can't get the job done. The only reason McConkey last week, 2 catches, 53 yards, still number one wideout. It's not a matter of that. Tennessee has a hell of a pass defense this year. Hell of a pass defense. So if you go back every week, look at just the wide receiver. Nothing else, just wide receiver. You'll see that number one receiver had the same kind of numbers as McConkey. He's number one receiver. He's going to have his bounce back game. It was just game script. Don't fret on that. Courtland Sutton, well, hell, he's just trending up, man. His quarterback's getting better. The rookie's getting comfortable. He's making his way up the ladder. You have a couple of 100-yard games, a 67er with a 1-touchdown game against Kansas City nonetheless. He's trending up. So I'm probably just going to slam him in. And if Flowers gets what he gets, I guess I take the loss on it. But I feel better with those three well, Collins is a lock. McConkey is a lock. Sutton or Flowers. I guess take your pick. I'm going to make that decision within the next 24 to 48 hours before game time, but we'll wait to see on that. So, moving on. We got tight ends. Well, Trey McBride is on his bye this week. So, on my team, in the main league that I consider, out of the 12 that I manage, so Tucker Kraft he's been good. He's been good. There's not really much bad I can say on Tucker Kraft. He has been a solid tight end since Luke Musgrove went down for the Green Bay Packers. Now, spotty at quarterback to some extent. Yeah, but you know what? Willis has done pretty damn good in replacing Jordan Love when needed at points this season while they are injured. So, yeah, look to see, I guess, what he's going to do against my Bears defense, I guess. That's the one uncomfortable I have about it is my tight end that I'm starting on my bye for Trey McBride is the tight end for my rival, the Green Bay Packers. Like, what better way to top that other than it being, weekend of the Dick versus the KC in our Bears and Packers rivalry game, right? Yearly, in some context, whether phone call, messaging, whatever, me and one of my brothers from another mother across the country hook up and do our, day game, night game, afternoon, whatever they're slotted, but we watch the Green Bay and Chicago Bears. And yeah, it's usually a great time for him because my Bears are getting slaughtered to some extent, or it's a tight game and goddamn quarterback usually throws a frickin' interception. So yeah, it's going to be a fun week 11. And that's really all I can say to that. Defenses, well, I got the Bears defense. I'm scouting out a couple others, but you know what? I seen the one defense, LA Rams, got picked up in main league today. I do have them on a few of my other teams, though. So if you are searching for a defense maybe to help you carry to a championship this season in your fantasy lineup, take a look at the LA Rams, I would maybe have to think. I don't know. I just, actually, no, it's not. I don't know. It's based on what I have seen in game. Because of the games I have watched, because of Kyron Williams, that defense is gelling. They're getting more comfortable. They're trusting each other. The defensive line is without Aaron Donald, former All-Pro pretty much every season he played. Won a Super Bowl. You know what? He's a Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame defensive tackle on that line, gone. You drafted for it, though. With all them picks, you said fuck it, but you still found a way to draft defense. So you loaded up in his final years, and now you're getting a young defense hungry. Hungry because they know what that offense can do. They know what Nakua and all them other boys, Kupp, Atwell, you got Robinson, frick, I'm sure there's another guy I'm missing. Like, they got all the receivers. They got Corum as the backup running back, although you wouldn't even know who he was other than he got injured earlier in the year, came back, but by that time Williams has ran away with the running back position. Like, I know it will help Williams in the long run, but overall Williams is the number one running back in the Los Angeles Rams. Simple as that. Kickers. We got Brandon Aubrey within our main team. Now, I also have Chris Boswell on other teams. I have Cody Dicker on other teams. You have a little bit of mismatch. I got, Kyrie Fairbairn. It's Kaimi. Kaimi Fairbairn, I believe is how you pronounce it. Sorry for that. My bad. Houston Texans, number one rated kicker, at least amongst fantasy football right now in one of my leagues. Take a look. The best thing I can do to recommend to you, look for the trend. Look for the current uptrend. If you see where he's hot this week, not so much here, hot the next, you know what? When it comes to the stats of, teams that are good against the kicker, horse shit. Horse shit. Why? Because kicking doesn't come down to that. You could be a really good special teams team. You can. But at the end of the day, the amount of probability of you in successfully eliminating that kick all the time is just too goddamn low. I'm sorry. You can increase your percentage, but it's still such a low percentage. You're not going to, you can't say, oh, they're the number one team against the kick this week. He's not going to have nothing. Dude, I've had a kicker get me dick before. In fact, I've had a kicker get me negative because they did a freaking special play where it was a direct snap and he's launched it and it was intercepted. Goddamn thing got taken back for a touchdown on a fake punt or on a fake kick. I forget what game this was, but this was a few years back now. So you can't go on that stat. You just can't. But what I can recommend is there is a way to just look at the stats. Check out his overall accuracy. All right? You know what? They all have a bad day. You have to give them that leash, that leeway. But when it comes to the trend looking, you know what? If he's knocking at least a 6 to a 7 every week, just fucking grab him. He's getting your bear line. That's all you need. But look for the little bit more accurate kickers. Maybe them ones that can boot them 50-yarders real good. Then we have something to talk about. That is the guy you want to get. So I know Harrison Butker went on IR this week. Yeah, so you're going to need a replacement for your kickers. I think McLaughlin from Tampa was viewed around the league. Jake Moody's back. So you got some options. But moving away from my main team, we're going to move into a few other players who I like. Now, we can go right into this because this can go with the Thursday Night Football review. To be honest, I was on and off with football last night, and it's because I was preoccupied, but also it was a good defensive game. To the point when Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts ran in them touchdowns. Prior to that, 4 consecutive field goals, all right? And Washington's running back, Brian Robinson Jr., had a rushing touchdown. He had a decent game, 14-point stat line. You have Saquon Barkley coming out and saying, boys, just jump on the back. Let me pull you a little bit. But then you got that psychotic O-lineman of theirs. I didn't catch his name, but I seen the highlight of it, though, man. My God, this dude rocks the shit out of the defender. Like, actually, I think it was Lane Johnson now that I'm thinking of it. And he just fucking clocks this guy, not necessarily as a punch, but just throws him like he's a little rag doll. It's beautiful. Big offensive lineman, big hole for the running back for a second touchdown. Like right up the middle, just one cut. It was beautiful. Earlier in the game, they go ahead into the Jalen Hurts touchdown. I think that was a tush-push kind of running kind of deal. Saquon broke off for a 32-yarder earlier in the game, or mid-fourth quarter, yeah, his first touchdown. So, yeah, they came back and showed it for what it's all about. So, good for the Philadelphia Eagles. 8-2 now, leading the NFC East. Good luck to you. I like A.J. Brown. I like A.J. Brown in the fact that he will be your consistent. Devontae Smith from there, number 2 wideout / 1 out. He will get you your points too, but he is, last few weeks, 3 points, 6 points, and then you go into A.J. Brown. Since he's been back, I think he's averaging like 14, 15 points a game. Like, he still had 11 last night. Yeah, not what you wanted for this week, but hey, he got you a base stat of at least 11. Guess what? I'll take 11 points any day of the week. That's that's a good day at the office. That is a standard. You walk in, you punch your clock in, you walk out, you're good for the day. So A.J. Brown, moving forward, if you got him, start him. If you don't got him and you think you can trade for him, take a shot. You never know. Maybe you get lucky because he had a little bit of a, not so hot week. But hey, Washington's pass defense, they're turning things around in Washington. They're not always on. They're coming around. They're coming around. Yeah. Terry McLaurin. Well, what can I say about him? He's a starter regardless. Wide out 2 minimum, if not wide out 1, some teams in fantasy. He got stuffed last night. He did. And you know what? We're not going to be hard on that at all, actually, because McLaurin has been great for Jaden Daniels' development. Very smart kid. Very athletic quarterback. Not really much bad to say in that. Rookie season, tearing the league up. But here's where it's just that situational football and the other team wanted a little bit more. And then you faced a defense that suddenly it's that division, right? They may not know you that well yet, but they know the rest of that team really well. So the Eagles came in and did their thing. Clarence been playing them for the last 6 years since he's been in the league. So can't really say much bad on that other than just a divisional game. They came in, handled their business, sent the other team home with a loss. So get out of our home stadium. All it needs to be said there. Bye week, I believe, this week for the Carolina Panthers after their Giants victory that they got in Germany, right? Yeah, Chuba Hubbard. Not much to really say other than start that man, get that man, and let him help lead your team. He is a legitimate running back one that you don't got to worry about Miles Sanders or Jonathan Brooks or whatever. No. Chuba Hubbard is running back one for the Carolina Panthers, regardless of the team being shit or the team doing good. So pack your pennies on to Chuba Hubbard and let him help you after the week 11 bye. Moving along, same game from that, Tyrone Tracy. I do have him on my main league. I like him. He had a couple fumbles from last week. You can't blame it all on one guy. It's a damn team game. They aren't even committed to Daniel Jones. Earlier in the week, there's a report out. Brian DeBull is not committal to Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. So what is, like, when you are question mark at your most important position, and when you get that snap, that's usually not a good sign. It's not a good sign for anyone. So, Daniel, let me plead with you on something. Pull your head out of your ass. Take one extra second, even if you're going to get fucking hit. Take the hit, get up, move along. All right? You got a team, you got a city. Like, dude, it's year, 5 now for you? Something like that. Year 6? I don't know, you're 2 years into your big mega contract. Like, dude, you're a $40 million NFL quarterback. It's time to start acting like it. The child days are over. That's all that needs to be said. I'm not gonna sit here and say it 20 different ways. There's no need. Head out of your ass. Play like the quarterback you know you can. Because I've seen it. I've seen your ability. You have it. You just, I don't know. You lose confidence so easily, I find at times. But again, Tyrone Tracy had a little bit of fumble issues, but it was more positional. Just a great play by the defense, actually. So, in Carolina, in that game, start him next week, week 12. If you got him, use him. pick him up, trade for him, whatever the hell you got to do. Tyrone Tracy. Moving along, you got, I guess that's my list for that for now. Cool. All right. We already talked about the Rams defense, so I guess we'll just walk right on into the NFL news. So here is your Around the League of the BearDown Corner, presented by Sergeant Cornholio. Let's go. Tyreek Hill, earlier this week, said in an interview, I would rather cut my hand off than get like season-ending injury, because it is I think a meniscus type tear in his wrist. The man's basically one-handed right now. Let's just put it that way. But he is going to play through it for the rest of the season. You know what? If your quarterback feels you're going to catch the ball better with your forearm and one hand, fucking have at it, man. Like, good luck. Go for it. I want to see that show. But if not, it's going to be fun to see anyway, because he's going to get knocked right up to the high heavens, and he'll be sitting on the sideline concussed, just as his quarterback was earlier in the year. So, good luck, Tyreek Hill. I hope you don't make the wrong choice and decision for the fact of what that will do to your wrist later on in life. Take it from a broken down dude, just as a lot of us are. I know you're a professional athlete, but that shit still stays, man. Once you hurt your body, it heals, but it's never the same again. Talked about her Bucker injury. Yeah, that's all done and over. Landing on IR, they confirmed earlier in the week. Oh, yeah. Here's a nice one. So, Coach McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys came out earlier this week talking about Rico Dowell being the starter for the remainder of the year. Talked about how they need to get the ball to Dowell, how he'll be a main focus point. Why? Because Dak Prescott has opted for season-ending injury and will be placed on long-term IR for his hammy. Okay. Like, the Cowboys season has just been an absolute shit show. A shit show. Same with the New York Jets. They're both drama. They are both daytime television. They are days of our lives of the NFL. My God, you have a head coach, beginning of the year, your owner, your GM, your everything. The man who hired you literally had leaked reports about wanting to shit can your ass and bring in Bill Belichick. I don't need to say much more on that other than I haven't heard much about that rumor other than the most recent with, as it circulated amongst the communities, is, a possibility based on their record and what happens year total. Honestly, I feel Jerry Jones tanked this year on purpose. The man did shit in free agency. Not saying you got to go and spend on a bunch of lucrative guys. No. What you want to find in free agency is just those few pieces, those few missing little vets, or that one guy that got shafted somewhere and just needs a second chance. Instead, you bring back a washed up Ezekiel Elliott, lose about 4 members of defense, trade your friggin' long-time all-star, all-pro offensive tackle to the New York Jets because you apparently don't know how to manage the salary cap, because it seems like you do that with every goddamn guy. You want money? Sure. Here you go. What happens? Amari Cooper, $20 million per season wide receiver at his generation and time, traded to Cleveland. That's why he went to Cleveland. It wasn't because of talent. It wasn't because of disruptions or shit. His contract. Because they'll give the contracts. You'll play a few years there. Then they have the stalled year where they can't afford no one else. They shit can the head coach at the end of the year. Cut a few other guys. Draft a few new hope arises, everyone's happy for a few years, and then it's back to the shit heap. It's been this same revolving door through the Tony Romo years. They did that through, Jesus, even when they went and signed Drew Bledsoe. And after Troy Aikman, like, just, they have not had luck since the mid-90s. Sorry, Dallas fans. Gonna be another disappointing year. I hope Cooper Rush can provide you with the spark you feel you want and need. I personally would start and see what Trey Lance has to offer. I know that you got Dak Prescott signed to his deal, but guess what? The NFL is a business. Players can be traded. You see what you got on your roster before you start cutting, drafting, and signing or trading for. Dallas Cowboys, good luck. Dowell, I hope you get the showtime you deserve, man. I hope you get some touchdowns, rush the crap out of that ball, catch the crap out of that ball, help your quarterback in whatever ways you can, block, catch, everything. But at the end of the year, McCarthy's out. I don't know. Do you go sign a Belichick just because he's your friend? Probably, because you're Jerry Jones. And you got, like, I don't know. You knew how to do it in the beginning. Then it's like the business evolved in a way that you just kind of, you're there. You never get much more past this point. You're not like, Bills and Vikings and friggin' probably like 16 other teams in the NFL. You're just here. And you stay there. You don't come down here usually. You just stay right there. If you're happy with that, stick with it, I guess. Myself, always improve, baby. Always do yourself better. Anthony Richardson. So he said all the right things in a recent interview where he said my 2-game stance was good for me. Why? Because it allowed me to reassess, look at the game, and look at it from this is what is needed of me for my teammates. So this is what I will do for my teammates. So kudos to him. I hope he can slow the game down in his head. He can come back with his abilities that he has and be the Colts quarterback. The Colts have been searching, as every other team when they need a quarterback, but have been searching for that replacement since the abrupt retirement of Andrew Luck. Phillip Rivers wasn't the answer. Matt Ryan wasn't the answer. Hell, Joe Flacco wasn't the answer. Yes, he got the ball and some good yards for Josh Downs and Michael Pittman and whatever on some, teams that he probably should have as a veteran quarterback. And I loved Joe Flacco last year in the Browns run he had. But you can only do this once, where you bench your guy like that. Because if you do it again, you might as well tell him he's not your guy. The first time's a freebie. The first time, within reason. If he's struggling, you do it. But as long as he knows that this is a learning opportunity. Okay, this isn't forever. Unless it needs to be. That's up to you. But I think Anthony Richardson has his head on straight. He'll be all right. So, good luck, Colts quarterback. He's been named by their head coach, the QB1 rest of the season. Rodgers. Rodgers. 1 year left on his deal. Wants to come back next year. He already told reporters in a general, vague sense the other day in an interview. I'm just going to say this. Just do a little Google search on the New York Jets. And you can see the laundry list of shit that they have done. Like I seen the perfect video a while ago, and the guy explains even since Zach Wilson, and it's just been a shit show. They have talent. They have these young superstar caliber players. You got Aaron Rodgers, but guess what? Nothing's gonna happen. Why? Because it's either the Aaron Rodgers show or nothing. Why do you think they got Davante Adams? Why do you think New York went out and signed Christian Watson? Or no, not Christian Watson, sorry. Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard last year. Why? For Aaron Rodgers. I don't see this working for them again next year when they're going to have to bring in a new head coach. Or unless they keep Ulbrich, but like, I don't know. You're going to have the same people probably if you stick with Ulbrich. Not that there's anything bad with Jeff Ulbrich. I like the guy. He's a chill. He has that old school mentality, but new school ways. All right. But New York, you got to do something a little different. You can't keep doing the same shit that you have been because it's not working. For whatever disgruntlement reason, you had Hassan Reddick basically telling you to go fuck yourself for the first 7 weeks of the season. Like, come on. If that guy isn't there goddamn day one with the rest of his squad mates, even though I traded for him, because, I want a new contract, earn the fucking thing. Not based on what you did last year. Besides, you got traded from your other team. Okay? Just because, they wanted you doesn't mean that it's a guarantee of moolah. So, step a few seconds back, my friend, and just reassess. Reassess how that looks to the new fan base and your teammates and the rest of them. I get it. It's a business. You're doing what you can for you. You have to. You only get one crack at it. But, dude, come on. There's better ways of going about it. I know you all want to get paid what you all feel you're worth, but you know what? At the end of the day, sometimes take that less of 1.5 or some crap. Meet them somewhere down. Give some good faith as they give to you. Because I'm sure that's when that signing bonus is a little bit better than the crap you would have got because you decided to bitch and moan. But we're not going to ramble on about that because you know what? We could all day. Gardner Minshew supported by head coach Antonio Pierce as the starter, not necessarily the entire rest of the season, but vote of confidence moving here on forward. So, what is he going to be able to do? And how well is he going to be able to do it? You no longer have Davante Adams, which that's fine. You've been without him for weeks and weeks before that. Jacoby Meyer, you got that Turner kid. Alexander Madison is giving you running back as best he can. I don't know. I like the Raiders. They have a certain esque about them, but it's just not going to cut it, I think. And I feel bad because I like Antonio Pierce there. He fits their mold good. But good luck to the Raiders and Gardner Minshew. Yeah, that's right. That's how I'm trying to read this guy's name. Demonador Lenore, I'm pretty sure is how it's pronounced, signs a 5-year, $92 million extension of an average of 18.4 per season. DB San Francisco locking up another piece of that defense. Congratulations. The man got his money. Pay that man. Never heard of him, but pay the man, right? he's good, pay him. Pacheco. Yes, Pacheco. I have him on a few teams that I drafted. Picked him up off waivers on a few others. Traded on another. He should be back, not this week, but in the next week or two after. So I think probably week 12 is probably sufficient. Not back at 100%, but to make his way. Now, the reports of... Actually, no, you know what? That makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. Because I think the report, it was like mid-November they were kind of suspecting. So that falls right in line. So expect Isaiah Pacheco back in the next week or so. He's going to be a big part for a lot of people who have him. Like, running back is so barren wasteland this year. Yeah, he'll split good with Kareem Hunt as a good 1-2 punch. You know he's going to be an angry runner coming back. So good luck on not re-injuring. I would hate to see that, but Isaiah Pacheco back next week. George Pickens. Well, you got dime thrower Mr. Russell Wilson coming at you, so start him. Grab him. Not much more to say there. He is 17.66 points in his last 3 games average. Can't really argue with those numbers. Calvin Ridley, 60 points last 3 games. Hawkinson, tight end, can replace on other teams. So that is the other final 3 roundup from the fantasy side. That is the revolving door of the NFL, and that was your Around the League news with Sergeant Cornholio. So we are rounding up at a little close to 50 minutes. Right now we're at 47:10. We're going to wrap this up. This has been the episode 3 of the BearDown podcast, presented by yours truly, Sergeant Cornholio. This has been great. This has been fun. I love talking football. Heading into the weekend, a lot of good matchups as always. Not really lacking anything. There's a lot of good storylines going on, a lot of good divisional battles. Good luck to all fantasy owners. Good luck to all players and actual teams. And this has been a blast. Thank you for joining us here. And we will catch you next week for a recap of Week 11, along with the Thursday night recap of Week 12's game. And we'll have all your Around the League news, fantasy sports updates, and anything else that we decide to bring up. Maybe we'll tell a story time next time. But until then, take care, have fun. Don't forget to have your snacks when you come back next time to watch the BearDown podcast.